So my goal at the beginning of 2023 was to have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I failed. Failed might be a strong word, and I don't know if it's the right word, but let's just say I came up short because I learned a lot. I learned a lot of stuff this year on YouTube. I think at the beginning of the year, I had maybe 200 subscribers because I started posting in January of 2022. And then I was literally just learning how to make videos, filming, scripting, editing, doing all that by myself. And then in November of 2022, I started working with an editor, and we were kind of learning YouTube together, and we were growing together. So it was a lot of fun. And so the first video that we made in 2023 was where we were editing videos using a better camera and all that kind of stuff. So I don't mean to talk out of order here, but basically this is a very different video than I'm used to making. I actually wanted to just sit at my kitchen table and make this video, but I don't have like a portable mic, and I just wanted the audio quality to come across good. But I think, the purpose of this video is to basically just kind of walk you through my year in YouTube. Very chilled, very reflective. Kind of want to talk you through what was going on in my mind when I was making these videos, which ones did good, which ones didn't do good. I did actually have a video this year go viral, which led to a majority of my channel's growth. But then after that video went viral, the channel did not have as much growth, if that makes sense. And I'll kind of walk you through it. So I also didn't do this in the kitchen because I wanted to have I wanted to have my channel up so I can kind of tell you guys like the progression of how everything kind of went this year. Oh yeah, for this video, I'm not really going to be doing a lot of editing. I would like it to just be kind of this just like relaxed hangout type of review of the page. And so I think this is for anyone who is subscribed to the channel, just so you can get a little behind the scenes on how I make my videos, how the journey's been. I know some of you are new. Some of you have been following me for a while. Some of you might just be other creators just looking to kind of see what the journey looks like. And I'll say this much. YouTube is hard. YouTube is hard, but the beginning of the year, I had a goal where I wanted to grow on the channel. I wanted to monetize the channel, and I just picked an arbitrary number of 10K. I knew that was pretty lofty, but I think for me, the biggest thing was I was very determined to learn and execute. And so for me, I look up to Ali Abdaal. He is a phenomenal YouTuber. He gives away a lot of gems. There's a couple other channels that I would kind of watch. I'll be honest, I'm not like a big YouTube watcher, which is I always find it funny because I have a YouTube channel. And I do think I've watched more YouTube this year than I have maybe in the last 5 years. I was part of the generation in the era when YouTube came out. It was a lot of those like funny videos, random videos. And then I didn't really look at the platform that much, or I would always I would go to YouTube for like how-to videos. So if I was like installing a shelf or doing something random around the house that I didn't know how to do, that's what I use YouTube for. But it's crazy because ever since I started making videos and learning about it, it's like you can learn so much on this platform, and it's so cool to see the different niches. So yeah, sorry for that tangent, but basically a niche for me is, at the beginning of this year, it was very much clear aligner education for dentists by a dentist, because I am a dentist. And that's just what I wanted to do. And I have this clear aligner training program. And so I used YouTube as a way to kind of make long form videos to put free education out into the public. And then with the help of my editor, he would then cut up the long form videos and then turn them into short form, which I would then post onto Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and all that stuff. That's a strategy that a lot of people use. So I listened and I did it. And honestly, it was it was a game changer because I was originally posting on Instagram, making shorts like every week, sometimes multiple times a week. But then once I shifted to this like content machine style of just sitting down once a month, scripting and recording, it made my life so much easier. And, I think pros and cons to it. The pros were obviously less time, more output, so higher leverage in this content creation aspect. Cons were that, the short form that came from it, they did okay, like performance wise, they did okay on other platforms, but I think there's something to like analyze and to say that like I think on when you're making short form content, there's a little bit of an art to it where it might be a little bit more difficult to pull from long form to turn into short form. And I say that because I also had a couple reels go viral in the dental space on Instagram, but those were only videos that I was recording on my phone. So it was organic. They were not highly edited. And my Instagram and YouTube coincidentally both started going viral in the summer. So like May, June ish. And yeah, and the video that went viral on Instagram was just me walking around recording on my phone. But that being said, if you are looking to kind of have like an omnipresence and have a lot of content, recording long form, cutting down to short form is just great to have that baseline. So that's how I kind of quantify it. But okay, I know it's been a couple minutes now, but the channel. So, I'm just looking back. So the first month, my goal was basically I wanted to post once a week for the entire year. And so just due to lag time with editing, the first video in 2023 went out in, looks like, I think February. Yeah. So the first video went out in February and I got 3 videos out that month, which was great. They were all about aligners. And so that was my thing, is I was making like clear aligner videos. And so we did February and then we did March. These videos have around 250 to 300 views. I was making all my thumbnails. I was making all my titles. I started using a little bit of ChatGPT to help me out with the scripting and stuff. But then it turns out like after I did that for maybe like 5 or 6 videos, the scripting was like pretty crap. And I just knew that I had to kind of organically script it. So I didn't really have necessarily like, I wasn't copying anybody. I wasn't like following anyone's advice. I was just basically trying to make videos that I thought, a younger version of me would have wanted to watch. Or if a dentist was trying to learn how to do this procedure, I wanted to like create videos to help fill that gap. So some of the videos were like, 3 secrets to doubling your income with clear aligners, how to increase clear aligner case acceptance, 5 problems with Invisalign you need to know for dentists. So stuff like this. And it's kind of funny because the thumbnails were like, I thought the thumbnails were really good, but kind of the more I've learned about thumbnails and titles, they're not the best. But again, I was doing a lot of this stuff by myself because I didn't really have a lot of, like, I wasn't investing a lot of money into my channel. The first thing that I invested was in hiring an editor, and he's overseas, but he does a phenomenal job. And he actually told me after he edited my first video, he was like, dude, you need to buy a camera. Because he's like, you're paying me to edit these videos and you're just still recording off your iPhone. And so he convinced me to invest in a camera. I got the Sony ZV-E10. I think it was like $700 or $800, but that did like wonders. Because in the content, the quality started to come out a lot nicer. So that has been kind of my setup. It's kind of what you're watching right now. This is a totally different studio because my wife and I moved this year to a house. So yeah. Okay. So we did March, April. Good God. April was, look, here's the thing, is I think I went into tunnel vision. April, like these videos have like 68 views, 87 views, 64 views. Some of these thumbnails, like I was using Canva. So I used Canva to make a lot of my thumbnails. And if you take a look at the channel, Again, I told you guys I'm doing very minimal to no editing on this video, so I don't even think I'm going to put a screenshot of my page up. But you can just check out my channel and see. But yeah, it's crazy. So it's like still aligner stuff. Then I'm like diving into the history of like Invisalign. That one got like 450 views. And then I did like a comparison video, still doing 4 a month. I'm like crushing in terms of consistency. So showing up. And what the cool thing is this has built like a bank for me. And I just kept going, and I didn't really look at the analytics so much, and I just kept creating, which I think is a good technique to do, because when you're just creating and you're in the zone, like you don't overthink it and you just act. And I think that is so key when you're starting out. So yeah, we did March, April, then May, still in the 200. Now we're jumped up because now I started to kind of improve the thumbnails a little bit. So now we went from like 80 views to like 200 views. And then made a really good evergreen one, which was basically the difference between aligners and Invisalign. That jumped up to like 888 views. And that, now I'm looking back at it, is crushing because of Google search. So it ranks on Google. And here we are 6 months later, and it almost has 1,000 views, which is pretty cool. Then in the summer, in June, is when we expanded, and we got somebody to help us make thumbnails. So they basically watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to make good thumbnails. And then now you can see like 800 views, 700 views, 1,000, 1.8, 8.5. And then the big boom happened. The big boom happened in June. It was a video called "Why Do Dentists Have Highest Suicide Rate? Dentist Shares the Truth." And the thumbnail is this like, it's a thumbnail of me like with tears in my eyes, red, and it completely went viral. Like, this was the moment for me where it was literally like, you look at the analytics and the page, it's just skyrocketing. And I was like, holy crap. That was that when that video came out, I was making videos for 18 months. So a year and a half, this thing just crushes. And the videos all around it, like, they have a lot of views. That only happened after that one video went viral. So that is usually what happens. And it was crazy. It felt really good. It felt really good because the video got posted on a Friday. I wasn't even looking at the views, literally. Like, I would just post the video and it was just promoted on Instagram, continue with my life. And then my editor, he texted me on the Tuesday and he was like, dude, the video's picking up traction. And so I looked at the graph and that's when I saw it. Like, I just wanted to, getting 1,000 views at that point was like mind blowing. And so I was like, yeah, 1,000. But then once I saw it hit 1,000, I was like, oh, dang, like, I don't know, 3,000 would be kind of cool. And then it was like, oh, well, dang, if we're hitting 10,000 would be good. And then next thing you know, it's like 25K. And then I was like, dude, I think it's going to be 100,000. And then next thing you know, a couple of days later, it like surpasses 100K. And then at that point, I'm like, $500,000. This video needs to get $500,000. And it did. It's like at 554,000 now. And what's wild is like, this video literally went viral to the point where like I was going to conferences in the second half of the year and I was meeting random people. And then we were just talking, and then like some dude from another city was like, oh, he's like, I think I watched your YouTube video. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, the one about suicide and dentists. I was like, wow. So like he randomly saw it. And then somebody who I was working with that helps me out with like Facebook ads, he was like, dude, he's like, dude, someone sent me your video. So I was just like, holy crap, this is nuts. But that's the power of social media. That's the power of content. And yeah. And so, we started to then get more strategic. We started to then realize like videos about dentistry and money were kind of getting more awareness and so or reach rather. So then we started making videos about like how to become successful as a dentist. And And I learned from Ali Abdal to like model other people. And so there's another dentist out there who made YouTube videos, pretty much the only one that was making it for dentists. His name's Joel Meyerson. And so I saw some of his best performing videos, and then I took those topics and then I made my own version of it. And so that kind of did okay, but it still didn't like blow up. We kept trying, we kept kind of like going on these topics. And then what I did is I was starting to make videos based off of the short form reels that were performing good, that I was organically making. So like just talking about the toxicity of dentistry, trying to like these just like more relatable topics. So we did that. Then I was like, okay, let's start making some of these like educational videos for patients. So like maybe like, oh, like this is why you hate the dentist, or how to overcome dental fear. We did all that. Those didn't really do that great. And then Smile Direct Club went bankrupt. Okay. And so this was 2 months ago. So this was October. So they were filing for bankruptcy. And so I made like an emergency video about it. We posted it that day. It was getting some views through search, but not like a crazy amount. And then what's wild is 2 months later, Smile Direct Club shut down. And when they shut down, this video started to pop up and it started to spike in views. And now it's at like 5,000 views. And it got to the point where so many people were watching it. An anchor for ABC News reached out and he was like, hey, can I interview you to be on the show? Because we want to get an expert opinion on what happened to Smile Direct Club. And this was happening when I was like on vacation with Neha on our baby moon. I was literally on the beach and I got this email and I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I like ran back to the room, jumped onto Zoom. We did the interview and then it aired on their episode like that Friday. And that was just like super cool because again, a video that I made 2 months prior didn't really do that great. And still 5,000 views is awesome. It's really good. But I think a takeaway here is like, if you are making videos for your niche or your space, it truly is evergreen in the sense where like, and everyone says this, and so I'm not trying to be cliche, but like it's true, but like you will own the space in that way. Like if someone is looking for like a Smile Direct Club video, this is going to pop up. I literally just shot another one yesterday, kind of doing like a whole breakdown of it. And it's going to have that professional quality and it's going to be informative and it's going to perform well for the long term. And so that's how you can establish yourself. Yeah. And then kind of fast forwarding to November, had some more videos come out, still in that like 200 to 500 range. And then we really started ramping up the thumbnails. So then what we started doing is myself, my editor, and then the guy who we have helping us make thumbnails, we started spending time brainstorming titles and thumbnails that would perform well. And then I would go in and script. So we flipped the workflow completely upside down because I was usually just scripting videos. And then I would come up with a title and thumbnail like most people. But I saw from a lot of the pros that like you actually have to do it the opposite way. This video probably, I don't even know, this video is probably not even going to do that well. But like I said at the beginning, I'm kind of making this more for me as like a reflection video and just like a takeaway thing. Because, yeah, this is all stuff that I was learning real time. And so we did that. And so what that did is it like forced us to look around and see what was performing well. And like, even if you go to my page, you can kind of see the progression of the quality of the thumbnails and the titles. And it was intentional. Because for a lot of these, we tried to make them optimized for browse. So we wanted them to be like attractive and like, clickbaity, like kind of wanted to like spark some curiosity. So that way you would want to click and watch. And that strategy is something that, we learned. And I think it's working. But the thing is like the views are still kind of low. And I think it's because the topics that we're posting on aren't necessarily like that interesting because they're niche. But if someone comes to the page, the goal is for them to learn something and find some value. So I know this kind of had this tone of like comparing numbers and stuff. And at the end of the day, the numbers don't matter. I'm very happy with how 2023 has gone so far. Even though we like came up short on the goal of 10K, because instead of 10K, we have 8.6K, which is sick. And I'm very grateful for all of you guys who are here and watching and supporting. I just wanted to kind of, just kind of talk about the page and share some insight. And here, I guess one of the last things is like, so every month I would sit down and record. And last month, November, we moved and there's a lot going on. And we were trying this like new style because we want to kind of test out and see how like reaction videos would perform. And I took the month off. Like I didn't record in November. And I just think I just wasn't like, I don't know. I think because we were kind of changing the videos up a little bit or planning to, and maybe part of me was like a little like afraid or a little out of my comfort zone because it wasn't so systematized. And maybe there was a little bit of burnout just because I think I was focusing too much on the numbers and seeing that things weren't performing well. And so what I kind of want to do moving forward is like not stress over the views or the numbers, because that's what I was doing earlier this year. And I was like having fun. Like I was excited. I was very excited to make videos and just like see the short form that came from it. And I think the last 2 months I kind of just dialed in a little too much into the numbers and stuff, which I don't know. I mean, I learned a lot, but I think, I just got kind of caught up in it and it started to kind of like take a toll on me. But that being said, I took the month off. I just recorded the next batch to go out. And, I think a big part of it was like I was afraid to take that month off because like, oh my God, I'm not posting every week. But what I realized is like, it's like a rule of thumb, right? Like you gotta, if you're not consistent, then taking time off randomly, it's gonna hurt you in the sense where you're not gonna take it seriously. But for me, like, dude, I took this page very seriously this year. I learned a lot. I showed up. I mean, you take a scroll on the page and you can see like I've been showing up. So I wasn't too hard on myself for taking the month off. If anything, like I felt rejuvenated and fresh. And I just think it's going to be interesting. I think for the page and for 2024, I kind of want to like, we're going to try these reaction videos out, but I'm also kind of just hearing and seeing more that people are kind of getting tired of the over edited stuff and they want more like authenticity, transparency. Like I said, God knows how this one's going to perform, but I didn't really make it for the performance. But this is kind of nice because I get to like spend some time, talk about what's going on, and just kind of get real. And so, if you're watching, please comment below. Let me know if you like me kind of walking through some of the behind the scenes stuff. I'm not a robot. I'm not, some guy who is just only cranking out videos. I have a life. I'm happy to share it. I do have an Instagram page where I post more on my story. But I think being able to kind of sit down in this like long form fashion is, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. And I think I'm going to try to, I don't know, do it once a week would be a lot, but I feel like it'd be kind of cool to kind of like sit down once a week and like talk about like either what I did that day or what I did that week, what I'm working on, what my goals are. Because I feel like a part of me, like I always kind of do things from the perspective of like, how can I serve like a younger version of myself? And, this year I retired from dentistry, stopped practicing, and I focused full time online between content creation, my course, and some other stuff that I'm working on. And I think that younger Avi would want to know, like, okay, this Dr. Avi guy retired from clinical dentistry. Like, what does he do now? What are his days? Like, what do his days consist of? And I'm not trying to hide anything. I think it's just like, it's a little hard to like document what you're doing and do things, right? Because if you're spending time documenting and you're like, if you're spending time recording, then that means you're probably not doing. So I don't know. I'm going to do some research and see. Maybe I just like kind of set up a camera and I talk to it while I'm working, but I don't know if that's as effective. I think what might be more effective is like mini reflections. I don't know. Now I'm just brainstorming stuff, but yeah, I think that's it. And so, like I said, very grateful for this year. I learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I feel good about the page. I'm excited for 2024. You know, we're going to have a kid. I'm going to definitely try to make some content about that journey and transition of becoming a father and a full-time online entrepreneur. I think there's a lot of fun stuff coming. And yeah, I'm pumped for you to be here. And again, if you have any thoughts, if you like this style of videos, let me know below. But yeah, thanks for being here.